Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and today we got to talk about Ethereum because the next couple of days are going to be very, very important for Ethereum. Now, I did a video like this recently for Bitcoin, and something similar to what happened to Bitcoin in that video is about to happen to Ethereum. I'm going to be talking about that in this video, but also something very important is about to be happening to Bitcoin. So in this video, I'm going to be covering that as well, but if you're interested in this video, if you enjoy this video, you should subscribe because I make cryptocurrency videos like this every single day, but let's get right into it. Ethereum is the second largest cryptocurrency. We all know that. Its market capitalization is currently sitting around $86 billion with a B. That's a big number. That's a lot of digits right there. That's about 10 digits. Or actually, it's 11 digits. Ethereum is up 1.36% today. We all know the circulating supply. We all know the technicals with Ethereum. But basically, what I need to show you on Ethereum is this right here. So Ethereum has a long history. Let's go into that first. Ethereum has a long history of going into these little equilibrium patterns, just like we saw here. Long-term equilibrium pattern. You normally don't see an equilibrium pattern happen over this time frame, but we saw one here. You can see there's a downtrend and there's an uptrend, and we got really close in here, and I called a breakout of this. I didn't invest in it because I wasn't totally sure, but I did call this breakout when this happened back in October, but we were getting really tight here in this equilibrium pattern, and just like I predicted, we broke out of it, and then shortly thereafter, we got into another equilibrium pattern. Come in here to the 4 hour, we'll be able to see it a little bit better. We got into another equilibrium pattern here, as you can see, and I called this one breaking out again. I didn't call these two things on the channel. This one, I did have the channel, but I didn't make a video about it. The other one, the channel did not exist yet. But we broke out of this one as well, and we ran up to all-time highs for Ethereum, just over $1,400 US, which is quite a lot of money for one Ethereum. That's quite a lot of money considering Ethereum was worth about $7 at the beginning of last year, and it ran to all the way over $1,400. That is a very, very, very big run. And it maintained a very high position on the coin market cap for that entire duration also, which just goes to show you how much cryptocurrency has grown in the last 14 months. But what I want to talk about in this video is this equilibrium pattern that we're seeing here. As you can see, we have a downtrend, and we actually have a trading channel, but I didn't draw it for this video, but I'll go ahead and draw it for the sake of argument. Ethereum is actually in a trading channel right here, just as Bitcoin is. And a trading channel is essentially two downtrends of the same type, and they're parallel to each other, more or less. They don't have to be exactly parallel, but you see this downtrend right here is parallel, and this downtrend is parallel. This is a downtrend of highs, and this is a downtrend of lows. But an interesting thing is if we get rid of that for a second so it's not distracting, we have an uptrend coming up to meet this downtrend, and when that happens, that is called an equilibrium pattern. And almost always, not almost always, but more times than not, when a market gets into an equilibrium pattern, as we see here, let's go into the hour. When a market gets into an equilibrium pattern and it gets really, really tight here, close to where those two trends overlap, about 70% of the time, that's why I like to say is about 70% of the time, I don't have data to back that up, but it is just something I've observed. More often than not anyway, when a cryptocurrency gets into an equilibrium pattern like this, more often than not, it will break bullish. Now, sometimes it'll break bearish, but more often than not, it will break bullish. And as cryptocurrency is starting to move back into a bullish state, we're regaining steam. Bitcoin is starting to break through some of these levels of resistance. It's back above 10,000. A lot of good news is coming out. Some good stuff is happening. I'm really expecting that this little equilibrium pattern that we're seeing here in Ethereum is going to result in a bullish breakout in the next couple of days. Now, as you can see, these two lines cross here on the first day of March, which is 2 days from now. So we don't have much time left in this equilibrium pattern, and in fact, you can actually draw two here, so these two kind of overlap. Same uptrend, but you can draw a shorter term one right here with this downtrend. You see that? Let me get these little lines out of the way. But as you can see, there's that. There's also there's a couple of key price levels that we're talking about here also. About $800, $790 to $800 is a very key level of support. We bounced off of it and the uptrend, and that's how we formed the uptrend a while back. That was on the 23rd, it looks like. The 22nd, yeah. So we actually formed that on the 22nd. It formed the uptrend. We've kind of been straddling this uptrend for a little while, and we've gotten really, really tight here, this equilibrium pattern. And if we can break above this downtrend right here, excuse me, and then we can also get above this $900 level, then we're probably going to see Ethereum go back to over $1,000, over 4 digits in the next week. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Do your own research before you invest, but this is a pretty clear-cut example of an equilibrium pattern in cryptocurrency, and I do think we're going to see a good day for Ethereum coming up in the next couple of days. I could easily see Ethereum going up 10% in 24 hours after it breaks out of this equilibrium pattern. Let me show you another example of when this happened. This happened very recently in Litecoin. There's an equilibrium pattern here. Had a very nice downtrend, very nice uptrend, textbook equilibrium pattern. We broke out of it leading up to the Litecoin Cash hard fork, and we broke out and we went up 50% in the span of 36 hours. So these equilibrium patterns are very, very powerful. This has happened in Bitcoin. As you can see, I have chart vision so I can see it. There was an equilibrium pattern right here, just the same time that Litecoin broke out. Once you do charting enough, you kind of see these things. I look at the chart and I'm like, oh, there's an equilibrium pattern. We had an equilibrium pattern here. We broke out. Another example of this would be a longer term one right here on Bitcoin. We had an equilibrium pattern forming right there, and then we broke bearish on it. So they do sometimes break bearish, but more often than not, you'll find that they break bullish. And I do think the one here in Ethereum is going to break bullish, and we're going to see some returns to all-time high in the next couple of months because I think cryptocurrency is starting to gear back up, starting to get some more steam under it. Another thing to take into account, I really like the RSI indicator, and the RSI on the hour chart, it's not overextended really yet. The hour chart doesn't mean that much, though, on that kind of thing. The 4-hour chart's getting a little overextended, and on the day chart, it's nowhere near overextended. The RSI is perfectly happy to have a little bit of a run here. So let's talk about Bitcoin. I wanted to talk about something that's happening in Bitcoin. This video is about Ethereum, but I also want to talk about Bitcoin because Bitcoin is obviously the most important cryptocurrency. It's the biggest cryptocurrency, so let's talk about it. Bitcoin, as we got up here to this downtrend, now, if you've seen my other videos, I used to have the downtrend drawn like this, but now I'm kind of drawing it like this because it's basically the same downtrend, except it actually fits the points a little bit better, so I do think that we're seeing this downtrend, and if you draw this on a log scale, that's kind of what it looks like also. But essentially what happened here is we had a head and shoulders form, as you can see here with this really ugly head and shoulders pattern. Let me see if I can draw that a little better. Got a head and shoulders pattern form here. And after that head and shoulders, we kind of fell down. We started making higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and then we actually had a bit of an inverted head and shoulders right here. I don't know if you can see this. I'm colorblind, but I'm sure. Yeah, there you go. Now you guys can definitely see that. There was a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders here as we got support at 9,200, and then we just shot up straight through 10,000. Got a little bit of support here at 10,200, and then we're hitting the same downtrend, and we're trying to get above this downtrend, but we can't do it. But what I do kind of think is going to happen here, not financial advice, but what I do kind of think is going to happen here is we're either just going to break straight through it in the next 24 hours, or we're probably going to fall down here to 10,000 and then try to break it out of it again. The little kind of state that we're in here can't continue because this downtrend in about a month and a half is going to come down here to meet this uptrend, and if we're not out of it by then, it's going to be its own equilibrium pattern, and we're going to see a bullish breakout of it because Bitcoin's not going to break this uptrend. It's not going to go below 6,000. Or below 7,000. I just don't see that happening. I don't see it breaking this long-term support. That is a really, really, really important level of support. If it comes down here and touches this level of support as it did here, it's going to get a bunch of institutional buyers like banks and probably governments, to be totally honest. So I don't foresee that happening. But anyway, guys, that's what I really wanted to talk about in this video. I do think something big is about to happen for Ethereum, so keep your eye on CoinMarketCap or my YouTube channel for the next couple of days, and I will definitely be keeping you updated with the latest events in cryptocurrency, and I will continue talking about the chart, and I will continue rambling as this video ends. But anyway, guys, if you want to yell at me for rambling, feel free to join the Discord and come do it in person, or you can do it in the comment section down below if you're not man enough to face me in person. I'm kidding, of course. But if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe because it definitely does help the channel out, and I do videos like this every single day of the week and weekends. I do it for free. You know, I mean, the subscribe button is kind of like, you click it, and you don't have to pay anything for it, but you just click it, and then it boosts my ego. That's what it does, okay? You know, like, it boosts my ego. We come here to the channel. And let's see, how many of you have boosted my ego lately? Let's see. 1,222 of you have boosted my ego lately. Good, so make that 1,223, please. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.